Hello, hello, it's June Olson with Junebug Creations, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator coming to you live from Whitefish, Montana. And I've been having some computer issues or streaming issues here the last couple days. I don't know what's up, so sorry it's been late. And I had some phone calls from the teenager who's almost no longer a teenager. And so I had to deal with that. So sorry I had to put this off half an hour, but we are ready. Are you ready? I get asked this question every single year. June, how do I do a bunch of cards at once? So I do, when I need to do a bunch of cards and it's all the same card essentially, I do assembly lining. Some people are like, assembly lining? What's assembly lining? Well, let me show you what assembly lining is. So first let me show you, these are the materials. Ooh, that's really close. These are materials that I used, some of the materials I used. So I used the Bear Punch on this paper because I want it to be quick. If I have to make a whole lot of cards, I want it to be quick and easy. So I punched out the ones that work with the Bear Punch, okay? So I cut them out like that and then punched it so that I wasn't ruining, because all these can be fussy cut, but I'm not going to do a lot of fussy cutting all at once. Well, that's not true. I've done a lot of fussy cutting all at once. I gotta have a good movie to sit down and fussy cut, and that could be what happens with all the rest of this stuff. I've done it before, but then I'm going to sit down and I'm going to fussy cut everything out and then create some cards with it. For the purpose of today, I just did the punched ones, okay, and then with the Bear Punch, and then I used the trees, the tree dies from Marius Trees. I used this medium size and the large size to cut out some of the extra ones I have. So for my berry Christmas cards, I've been using these two. So I didn't have a whole lot of those, but I had a whole lot of these and a whole lot of these because this was also for the card class. So I had a lot of these extra trees, so I just cut those out because all my little ones and my bears and my big ones were taken. So I cut those out, and of course I use the dies because then it's faster. You don't have to fussy cut. All right, then we're going to add some ribbon in. All right, I have a design in my head planned out. Normally I would make a prototype, but this time around I didn't make a prototype. All right, and then I also brought in my embossing folder, and this is retiring. This is not retiring. The Walk in the Forest paper is retiring, and the Berry Christmas paper is retiring, and the Bear Punch is retiring, along with the Berry Christmas stamp set. So if these are any things that you, hi Missy, if these are things that you're looking to have in your stash, I would get them now because they are going. All right, so and then I used this fun Christmas embossing folder, and what I did was I cut DSP that is no longer available, and I think it's called the Joy of Christmas. I cut this DSP, it's the last that I had, into sizes that are the layers for the front, all right, like this. And I did that, and I cut those, and that way I just ran them through, and then you can see that they all have that same pattern. Now the cool thing is because this DSP is white core, you can kind of see the white, and it gives it a nice distressed look. All right, so that just kind of adds to the cards. So then what I do is I take my card bases and I cut them, because I don't know if I want them to be portrait or landscape. I cut them at 5.5 by 8.5 and score it at 4 1/4. So then I'm going to lay out, try and get more room over here. I'm going to lay out all my card bases like this, and then I come along and I bring in my papers, and I'm like, okay, do I want this going this way? I'm going to do this one this way, but I think I'm going to do one of them this way because some of the words go across this way. So I'm going to do this one this way, and then I think I'm going to do the same thing with these other ones. So I'm going to do one of them this way and one this way, because like decoration goes this way, love, cheer, stocking, family. So I'm going to do them in both directions. And then this one will go this way, and this one will go this way, because I even have reindeer on this one. So it just depends on where you move it on this embossing folder. It doesn't fit, so you can either get direct decoration up here, or you can get reindeer down here. So I did move some of them up and move some of them down. So the ones where I got it, I have them set up. So I'm going to do some landscape, some in portrait. All right, and then I'm going to look at this, and I'm going to go ahead and put my Christmas tree. I think this tall one will work better here, and I might even want to switch to just the shorter ones. I think I like this one over here. And then I have some of the bears. Oh, let me put the trees, the other trees. And it might be that the trees are too much. And this is how I find out. And this is why I tend to do prototypes, because then that's when I can test out the trees. I think I'm going to do, I think these big trees are a little too big. It covers up all my words. I think I'm just going to stick with the bears and keep it super simple, because the words and everything on here already do the job. So then I'm going to have my little bears here. And that way I have something on there with it. And then my little sentiment pieces. And so I'm going to stamp these. And I'm just pulling out, hi Covina, nice to have you on here. I'm just pulling out my stamps from my paper pumpkin because I love this Merry Christmas. So I'm just going to do that and stamp those. But you can see, oh, I forgot my red. Where's my red? I forgot my red. I'm going to just go with the red, except I think over here I'm going to go with the shaded spruce because that's the color of this cardstock. So I need 2 shaded spruces and 2, and then 4 in red. So I'm going to move these aside. I'm going to bring in my shaded spruce. I'm just going to use the Merry Christmas, keeping it simple, keeping it easy, because that's what we're looking for right now, is just quick, simple, and easy. And I have my strips from my scraps, like that. I wonder whether the skinnier ones would work. I wasn't sure the skinnier ones would work. Let's see whether skinny ones work. Oh yeah, I kind of like that better. All right, we're gonna go with the skinny ones. See, and so I just kind of play around with it until I see. I have an idea in my head, but sometimes that doesn't always work. All right. So then I need to get my chamois. I'm getting my steps in again today, Missy. All right. Use my chamois to clean that off, and then we're going to do our 4 red ones. All right. Am I working still under the camera? I think so. Yeah, this is a really pretty font that they have with this Merry Christmas, and I just think it's perfect because it says what I want it to say, right? Merry Christmas, plain and simple. All right, so we have that. So now I've got these, and then I'm going to bring in my banner punches, okay? But I really prefer the banner end. So instead of using, this is the Happy Labels Pick-a-Punch. Because it's so skinny, I like the banner end, so I'm going to bring that in and do it on each end. Pop those out. Now this end is a little bit long. I've got a big old mess over here. Lost my scissors. All right, so trim it down a little bit so that you don't have to keep punching it. All right, we're going to do that there. and then this one, and just doing all the things in order. So you want to do all your bases, then all your layers, then all your die cutting or punching, and then all your embossing. So you just do all that stuff so that in the end you're just kind of putting them all together in a line. All right. I didn't know if you would rather I show you some of it or just have it all done and ready to go. So I thought, well, I'll have some of it done and ready to go, and other of it I will do in front of you. So normally if I'm sitting down to make the cards, I'm going to have all the stamping done, all the punching done, all the cutting, all the embossing, all the scoring. I'm going to have everything done. That one's a little close. And then just sit down. Like I said, I make a prototype first, but I get asked this question every year by people of, you know, how do you get a lot of cards done at once? And assembly lining, when I did those invitations, those Christmas invitations for the German company, I had to assembly line. I think I posted pictures of everything laid out on my table. First I had all the card bases laid out on the table, then I had all the pieces that I wanted to decorate each one with. Sometimes I use all the same thing. For that I used the same sketch, but I had different decorations. All right. So let me look at these. This one's a little wonky, so let's fix that. All right, this one needs to be evened up. When you go fast, as I tend to for lives, things might not always be so even. All right, so now we have that part done. All right, so first thing we're going to do is take this and fold it and use our bone folder. Still cards and bears show red, sentiment doesn't. Yeah, I don't know what the deal is with that. I'm clueless when it comes to that. I really am. I have no understanding of why that is that way, Missy. I don't know what it is about the camera and why, like you said, the cards look red, the bears' sweaters look red, but the ink doesn't look red. All right, so now I'm going to put all of these on here, making sure I have them in the right direction. All right. You could use the dimensionals if you wanted to, but I'll be using the dimensionals on the bear and on that, so I'm not going to do it on here for that. So normally I would also have, I guess I should do it as I would do it if it was me. So do all the card bases. So I'm just doing one thing at a time. So here we go. All right, so then I would take all the layers next and do the gluing. So that's essentially what assembly lining is, where you just do all of one thing first. So all the cutting, all the putting the pieces together, make sure I've got that in the right direction. Make sure I've got this in the right direction. There we go. We don't want to put it on upside down. Although that could be your gag card that you send to the friend that would totally understand. All right, so we'll do that. And then we have this one. So we just kind of glue it all in there. This is a green. So we're going to make sure it's opening in the right direction. That's the one thing when you're assembly lining, always make sure that your cards are opening in the right direction. Because I've had it where I've been in such a hurry that I haven't had it in the right direction. So you want to make sure that you have your cards opening in the direction that you really do want them to open, so you don't have too many gag cards to give away. Alright, so that one's opening this way, so we're going to do it this way. So, and a piece of cardstock, a little DSP, a little something something goes a long way. And then of course embossing it. That really makes a huge difference when you emboss it. Isn't that cool paper? But I kind of liked the green side better. That side, this side just looked too messy for me. Can you believe that? It just looked too messy. I couldn't handle it. So I was like, nope, we're gonna do this side because that way we can read the embossing. You wouldn't have been able to read the embossing. It was super busy and it just looked too messy for me. Probably in a small dose it would be really pretty, but yeah, in a large dose it was too much. All right, cut this off, or not cut this off, glue this on. I was looking, the word decoration was cut off of this one a little bit more, but I can't turn this one because then it's upside down. So it makes a difference as to which way you glue it on as to how you can use it. So this one will go this way. There we go. So you couldn't do this way. You can do it this way because decorations, merry, love, cheer, stocking, family, go this way, Santa. But when you turn it this way, it's upside down. Whereas this one, it goes the correct direction, but if you turn it to be a portrait card, then it's upside down. So you have to be careful and watch for that. So that goes this way. All right. So then I'm going to take one of my little red bears and my Merry Christmas. I want it above him. All right, I was going to put ribbon around it. That's not going to work. So now we'll have to see, will a bow work? I don't think it, nope, the bow doesn't work. All right, we're going to do dimensionals, and these will just be simpler cards. And simple cards are okay. I know you see me do, you know, fancy cards, things like that, but simple cards are okay. Everybody say simple if you agree. Simple cards are okay. They don't have to be extravagant. The fact that you spent the time, you thought about it, you made the card, that is plenty. And I probably did way too many dimensionals, but that's okay. See, I thought the tree would work, but I'm thinking that the tree's not going to work. So then the tree will be something on another piece of paper and then be my decoration. All right, so do I want the sentiment above or below the bear? Above or below the bear? What do you think? Above the bear or below the bear? I'm trying to look also here. I don't want to cover up too much. I think I don't want to cover up love. So I think I'm going to put bear here. And this sentiment. I'm going to kind of slip it under him so it looks like he's walking on it a little bit. There we go. And then I could use some gems. Let's use some gems. That's what will add some sparkle to this. Let's get some gems out. What do we have here? Let's use the iridescent rhinestone basic jewels because they will pick up any and all colors. So that's really awesome. And they are in They have an abundance of these. So if you like these would be good to order because you don't have to worry about them being out of stock. Oh, we'll do that after. See, here I go. I'm so used to finishing a card for you. So we're going to go this way and we're going to do another bear. I think. Let's do, see, I forget that I'm assembly lining now. All right, we're assembly lining, June. We're assembly lining. Just keep reminding me. June, assembly lining. Assembly lining. All right, so we'll do these next. I guess I should have made a prototype. See, that's where a prototype comes in handy because you already know what you're going to do and then you don't go off on other tangents. Because when you're assembly lining, the whole point is to save time. And if you're doing what I was doing, bouncing all over the place, then you're not saving any time. So assembly lining saves time when you do it right. We'll call it that. We'll just call it right. All right. So I'm getting all these on the bears and then on my sentiment so that we've got these dimensionalized and ready to plop on here. So I'm in focus now. We're assembly lining. Oops, missed one. And assembly lining means you do all of one thing and then you move on to the next thing. So we folded the card bases. We put the layers on it. Now we are putting all the dimensionals on this and then we're going to flip them over, and of course I'm flipping all the green ones first. And we're going to flip these over and place them. Now you can change where you place your sentiment as much as you want. All right, it's still basically the same card. So I'm going to do this more tree tidings, Christmas, right there. So there's one. And then we have red, so now we're going to use the green sweatered bear. Even though it's not the same green as the back of the card, I didn't really think about that. It's really not that big of a deal. And then we want the green Merry Christmas. So I'm just going to do this one a little different and put it up here. All right, so you can move your sentiment piece around however you wish so that you have a little bit of change and then you don't have to worry about feeling like you're bored with it. All right, and then this one, we go back to the green sweater bear. And one of these is going to be green. All right, whoop. Here we go. Like that, and then this one. So now I'm doing assembly lining. You see what I'm saying? All right, everybody say assembly line if you see what I'm talking about. Where else would you see assembly lines? All right, hello Johanna. It's been a while since we've seen you on here. It's fun to sit down and take a break. Yeah, have you been super busy? Above as a focus. All right. Some of them I have above. Some of them I have below. Been going back and forth. Hi, Mary Beth. Oh, it's been a while since you've been on here. All right. There we go. All right, so now we have this far. So now we want to do our little embellishments. And really, I think the ribbon would have been too much unless I already had it wrapped around here. But I think this is going to work just perfectly. All right, so now we will take our gems and place them. Let's get this out a little bit more. Isn't this the greatest thing? I just love this thing. All right, so I'm gonna put one down here, a big one there, and then a medium one over here. And then I'm going to use a little one because we're just going to go with the 3 up there. All right. And then I just had an idea that I saw on one of them. Here we go. Put that in the middle of the present. And we'll do this over here. And a medium-sized one over here. All right, so those 2 are done. All right. Now, do the gems and stuff sparkle and really, like, are they showcased? No, not really. They just add a little touch to it. Just a little bit of a sparkle. So let's see. We're just going to do one down there. And then we're going to do a little one and a medium-sized one over here. So we still kind of have that triangle. Sometimes that's what they talk about. So here's the triangle right here. It's a skinnier triangle. This one's a little bit wider. This one's skinny again, going the other direction. Let's see if we can do a wider circle. We'll put the big one down here. And then we'll put one over here. And oop, that's the same size. So I'm trying to do 3 different sizes. So here we have a larger triangle like that. And then these big ones are really big, so that's why I'm keeping them down below, because they're just kind of really big. Kind of really kind of. All right, we're gonna do one over there. And then I'm going to do one over here on this flower. So here we still have our triangle. All right. And we'll do one over here on that present. And then we'll do one up here. And one down here. So we still have our triangle. So that's what they talk about. And I don't know, they is, I guess, the experienced people, the people who are artists and more, I'm not sure what the word is, more technical about things, I suppose. So here we've been on for what, about 28 minutes, and I have 6 cards done. All right. And we assembly line. Now, if you have everything prepped, and your prep time is going to take the most time. So you prep your card bases, you prep your card layers, you prep your innards, which I did not do, and then you prep your sentiments, and you prep everything. You have everything ready to go to where all you have to do is put everything on, and then you do them one at a time. But instead of doing the whole card at once, like I did, you saw how much faster it went when I folded them all. Then I glued the layer on. Then I put all the dimensionals on the back of this, and then I went back through and I put each one on here, and then I went through and did the gems. So assembly lining is just a key way to get a whole lot of cards done in one fell swoop. But you do have to be prepared. You have to have all your parts and pieces. So I do recommend first make a prototype. All right, make a prototype first. Then cut out, die cut, fussy cut, whatever, all the pieces that are going to go on the cards. And you can change it up. It could have been different bears if I had had time to sit down and fussy cut all the bears from here. Then each card would be a little different. Okay, so these are the only ones that get punched, the ones that are walking, even this plain one here without, that's undressed, okay? And then everything else you would have to fussy cut. And you can do that, and you can get a lot of cards out of it. Very simple cards like this, where it's a piece of cardstock, a piece of DSP that you can emboss or leave plain. If you don't have an embossing machine, don't emboss it. It's okay. It'll still look great. And then you can cut and stamp. All right, so if you have any further questions, please let me know. Go ahead and pop them down below. Thank you for watching. Thank you for catching me live, Covina and Missy and Johanna and Mary Beth. And then if you watch the replay, go ahead and put replay down below if you're catching this as a replay. And I will be back again, I think Saturday. Oh yeah, I haven't even told you. Saturday, we're gonna do the truck class. I need to do a post about that. I forgot to tell you. So Saturday morning, I'm going to do a truck class. So using the truck stamp and punch, I'm going to do 3 cards that I had done way back in July for a class. I'm going to do it as an online class. So if you have the truck and stamp punch, then no, the truck punch and stamp set, then you could pull out some cards and do that with me. All right. So I will. You might have to just watch and just play with your stamp set, because I probably will send the tutorials for that out after the fact. Okay, so let's see. I will do a post so that you know when it is on Saturday morning. I'm thinking about 11 o'clock on Saturday. That's always a good time for me. So be watching for that. Clearance rack just renewed itself, refreshed. So lots of new things out on there, and go assembly line. You can do this. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.